What's going on today, y'all? Chuck and I are going to be cooking 56 briskets at Goldee's on our 2,000-gallon mill-scale smokers. Chuck is the head pitmaster over at Goldee's right now, and she is also going to be doing a video here pretty soon on the 94-gallon mill-scale smoker, so be on the lookout for that because it's going to be a really, really great video. But anyways, today... you can see right now, we already trimmed these briskets the day before. I'm just going through and like touching them back up before we season them, make sure that they're all perfect. She is using water as a binder. You can see it in that sauce thing or whatever. You can see it in there, and then we have a new secret rub that I can't tell y'all, so y'all can thank Chud for that. But anyways, yeah, I'm just seasoning them, getting them all done, all that good stuff. Just pepper first, and then the new secret rub, and then we're gonna be loading them up. So this is just us loading it up. I'm gonna take this time to answer some questions. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should follow me on Instagram. Have people comment their questions for this video. So let's see. The first one. Let's see. Fire management on a smaller smoker. I'm going to do a whole video on that on the 94-gallon mill scale. And let's see. Brisket-wise, I'm always reluctant to be aggressive in my trimming, and I regret it in the end. Trim off trim off enough that, it's all going to be servable. Everything that you cook should be servable. You shouldn't be leaving anything on that you can't really serve. Watch your... Just don't want to take too much fat off. It's better to take off too much fat than have too much fat. But obviously, it's ideal to hit that like perfect level or whatever. But we don't. I mean, we at Goldee's we wouldn't serve anything with like too much fat. But too little fat, we can usually get away with. The brisket's still juicy. I mean, it's all good. Let's see. Let's answer another one. How long does it take to prep 56 briskets? Forever. It takes forever. We do right now at Goldee's. We're doing like 150 a week, so we're almost doing like 50. We're doing like 40 to 50 briskets a day. And I mean we have been up there every single day, and prepping for just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But there's still really just like six of us working there. We have our friends and people help out here and there, but for the most part, it's just 6 people working there. So, it's a lot of prep, a lot of time spent up there. Let's see. Do you see any issue with putting the meat on the smoker before starting the fire? Well, as you can see here, I put the meat on the smoker and then I started the fire. Let's see. I'd rather just start cooking and getting smoke on the meat as much as possible instead of getting it to temp and then dropping it when I open to put the meat in. I mean, you can do it either way. I mean, do whatever you want. I like to have a cold smoker. I like the smoker to warm up with the meat and everything just starts cooking really evenly. Everything starts just looking. I mean, it cooks more evenly to me. And I think it gets a better color and a better smoke flavor when you start it like this. But if you're getting good smoke flavor, getting a good bark, and you're happy with the brisket, then just do it the other way. See, I got the match light. I got the cold tallow. Y'all seen that before. I got the lighter fluid. I mean, I'm just trying to get a good, big fire going. I've got the damper closed 3/4, so the fire's not really ripping in there. You can see it's kind of... Even when you'll see in a little bit, even when it gets really big, it's really not ripping in there. It's still burning straight up. But that's just because we're trying to get as much smoke flavor from that tallow and all this wood without heating up the pit like super, super hot right off the bat. So you're trying to find that balance, or that's what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Is your wood naturally dried, or do you purchase kiln dried wood? This wood actually is kiln dried. We just switched over to like gourmet woods. They're really close to us here in Kennedale, and they're like, they're asking me stuff like, what percentage of moisture do you want in the wood and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know. I have no idea, but it cooks really, really nice. I do recommend kiln dry wood. It might be. I mean, you might. It is a little bit harder to burn a slower fire with this wood, but you just have to close the damper, cook with the firebox dormer closed, build tighter fires, all that stuff. But you can get it done. Um, you ever get pools of fat rendering on top of the flat during the cook? Do you mop that off or leave it? We just kind of tip them over. I think someone replied and said, you can just lift it and let it drip. Do this every 40, 50 minutes after the fourth hour. It just kind of depends at where you are in the fourth hour. Like in the fourth hour, I'm not in the stall for sure. But that usually that all that moisture pulling up on there is in the stall, and I'm not usually there in 4 hours. But whenever you do see that moisture start happening, just tip them over. I mean, it'll probably still wash out, but you're doing whatever you can to kind of do against that or whatever. Let's see. Mad Scientist wants to know if rubbing tallow all over your body is the Franklin secret. No. Nah, maybe. Nah, try it out. I mean, maybe he'll do a video on it. I'd watch that. I'd check that out. Let's see. I'm trying to. How long are you holding in the warmer before serving? I don't. Maybe like 12, 14 hours. It really doesn't matter. I really don't think that's the like secret. I mean, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters when I'm resting is what temperature I put them. The warmer is always set at 140 degrees. The only thing that matters is what temperature the brisket is internally when I put it in the warmer, and then once that brisket comes down to like 140 internally, like it's ready to go. The only reason they're resting so long overnight is because we don't have enough cook space that's the amount of cook space that we have. You know, like the both these 1,000 gallons are full of briskets all day, and they're full of turkey and ribs all night. So either I cook ribs during the day and then the briskets go overnight, or vice versa. That's right now we're doing briskets during the day, ribs at night. So I mean, I don't think a 12-hour rest is necessary. I think you might need like a 4-hour rest. You know, like I really don't think the rest, like 14-hour rest, it makes the brisket any better than a 7-hour rest. They're just sitting at 140. I mean, if anything, they're just drying out. So, why do you add pickle mustard binder only to the fat side as well as no Lowry's to the meat side? Lowry's are expensive, and the bottom I just hit with a bunch of kosher salt. So, but the when you bite into the brisket, you're usually biting on that fat, the top side. I mean, unless you're cooking the brisket fat side down. But if I was cooking a brisket fat side down, then I'd put the Lowry's on the meat side. So just kind of how that works out. Right here, I'm just shifting, like when I was talking about you tilt the juice out of the leans, you can do that, and then I shift them back. I just shift them away from the fire. It's an offset smoker. The game plan is to have the meat as far away from the fire as possible. Like that's the whole point of an offset smoker, that it's not direct heat. So as soon as they start shrinking up, I start pushing them back, get them more and more away from the fire. Now someone said it's hard to avoid dirty smoke when starting the fire. You can put the meat on as soon as you have a consistent, clean, burning fire. Why is that a rule? I don't understand. There's so many rules. I get that for sure, but I don't see taste the difference. It's the only thing that put nasty and thick white smoke on the meat for a few hours, but to me that doesn't seem to make a difference. It doesn't. I mean, I'm saying if you do like a 12-hour cook with dirty white smoke, yeah, it'll taste like it. If you do it for like a couple hours, no, it's not that big a deal. Does it matter which foot I put my socks on while cooking? If I put my left sock on my right foot, will it change anything? Maybe. It maybe could. I don't wear socks. I just put my feet right in the Crocs. Let's see. Is smoker temperature mostly about efficiency? I find smoking brisket on my Weber is easiest to hold at around 225. Sounds like most restaurants cook harder than that. Is it okay to rest longer than 12 to 14 hours? I mean, they cook. I mean, you got to think about it. If you're on, I mean, I don't know much about Weber's, but if you're on a smaller offset smoker, yeah, you want to cook um, a little bit lower because you're closer to the fire. So obviously you want to cook a little bit lower. These offset, like if I went 325 on my 94 gallon, my brisket's gonna be burnt. If I go 325 on my offset 1,000 gallon, they're just cooking efficiently. So it just kind of matters how big they are. So here I'm just wrapping them up. Bark's looking really, really nice. So these are all done. These are done. They're temping at about 195, and then I'm gonna stack them on a sheet tray. I'm gonna stack 8 briskets on a sheet tray, so it's 4 on the bottom, 4 on top of those, and they're gonna carry over like that. So they probably will carry over to like 200, but I haven't pulled a brisket at 200 in years. I always briskets pulled in the 200s usually to me are overcooked, but that's just my opinion. Um, that's just what I do. 200 something is usually overcooked. Like I know y'all want it to be like tender and like just falling apart and stuff, but I don't think that's like a properly cooked brisket. I think it's just an overcooked brisket. Like the pull test and all that stuff, I don't think that's a proper way of gauging how a brisket was cooked. There's a lot of different ways, and I think I'd do a whole video like cutting through a brisket and kind of explaining what I'm looking for as far as like the graining and fat rendering and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, and that's Topolino. Topolino and a little turtleneck. That's brisket helper. I think I answered all the questions already. Let me look. Oh, do you have to rotate briskets during the cook? Oh no, I forgot to mention that we put the smaller briskets on. Like we had 56 briskets. All the small briskets, or 28 small briskets go on one, 28 big briskets go on the other. And then I kind of grade them where I think like the hot spots would be and stuff like that. And no, I don't rotate them. I don't really. I've never rotated briskets. I don't really think that's really necessary. When I shift them back, I almost got those 28 briskets on like the back 2 doors. Just as they got smaller, I kept shifting them. I almost got them to the back 2 doors. I mean, they cook plenty even when we were temping. When you temp around all the briskets and they're all within like 5 to 10 degrees of each other. I mean, that's really good. That's really nice. Like you don't have to rotate to get that. So no, I don't really rotate them. Do you ever dry brine? No, I've never really dry brine. I like to season them and put them right on. Uh, how many warmers do you need to run service at Goldee's? I do. We have 2 warmers, and they're like literally filled, and we can't do like we're not even doing bread pudding right now because we don't have any space to keep bread pudding warm. So like 2, we probably need 3 or like 2.5. How do you organize and cook the maximum amount of product sold? So our schedule is like put the briskets on at 8 a.m. They come off around from like 9 to midnight, just kind of depends. And they rest, and then I come in at like 1:30. I throw the beef ribs on, so everything's empty around that time. I come in at 1 a.m. and throw the beef ribs on, throw all the pork ribs on and the turkeys on, and then those come off around 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then we throw the briskets right back on, and then we do like a bus tub of house sausage and a bus tub of jalapeno sausage on a different 500 gallon that we have, and then that's it, and then everything's done by 10, and then the briskets are just on cooking for tomorrow. How much wood are you going through a week to operate 3 days? I think it's 1.5 cords. I could be wrong, but I think it's 1.5. So I wrap mine probably like an hour earlier than hers. But you can see those are all done. That's at 194 right there. So these briskets are all done. You can usually tell by how the color, and then how the fat feels, and how the fat looks on top. And that's usually my indicator when to pull briskets. Jeez, I'm talking a lot. Those are looking really good. I can just tell the fat's rendered just by the color of them. So she's gonna be wrapping them up. I'm doing some other stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. Little Topolino, Topolino. That's her helper. Let's see. Any more questions? Do you worry more about pit temp or meat temp? Pit temp, I guess. Pit temp. It has to be to a certain temp for a certain amount of hours to like render the top fat really well. Meat temp. Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to pull them at 205 or 210 or something like that. So yeah, I mean a little bit of both. And then you saw, I think I should have clipped me like double checking and making sure they were tender like when they were on the speed rack. So, but they felt really good. Love your opinion on injection versus no injection. I don't know. I've never injected anything. I would love to learn more about that. I'm sure it's good. Yeah, that's pretty much all the. Look at Topolino with the turtleneck. That's a good doggy right there. So she's just finishing wrapping up. Like I think I mentioned, yeah, we did 28 each. She watched a pit, I watched a pit, and yeah, you can see that she's pulling them off. She's not putting them back on. They're good to go. It's pretty much like a no wrap brisket. The bark is I would say not as soft as as when you wrap them in paper and put them back on, basically. So the bark is a little bit crispier. It's not. I mean, it does get softer in the rest and in the paper, but that's it. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.